So we're going to look at First Jude. First Jude also mentions Sodom and Gomorrah. So we're just gonna read that part, but it's just First Jude chapter 1, and then this chapter specifically is verse 6. So even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and governing and going after strange flesh, are set forth for an example, suffering the visions of eternal fire. But specifically, I want to talk about Genesis chapter 19 because I don't think people actually know the verse or talk about it. And it's like, I think a lot of people actually use this chapter to blanket statement homosexuality by saying that, like, it's pedophilia when that's not really what it is, even in the Bible. So, like, in this chapter, we're gonna read it. We'll read it first, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. So, it is. It is Genesis chapter 19, right? And there came two angels to Sodom at eve, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom, and Lot seeing them rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face towards the ground. And he said, Behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered unto his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house around, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. And they called unto Lot, and said unto him, Where are the men which came in to thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them. And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after them. And he said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold, now I have two daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto us, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. And they said, Stand back. And they said again, This one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now will we deal worse than thee than with them? And they pressed sore upon them sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. But the men put forth their hand, and pulled Lot into the house to them, and shut the door. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they were weary themselves to find the door. And the men said unto Lot, How thou hear any besides son-in-law, and thy sons and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place, for we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord hath sent us to destroy it. And Lot went out and spake unto the son-in-law, which married his daughter, and said, Up, get out of this place, for the Lord will destroy the city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his son-in-law. And when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, Arise, take thy wife and thy two daughters, which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city. And when he lingered, the men laid hold unto his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his two daughters, and the Lord being merciful unto him. And they brought him forth, and set him without the city. And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, Escape for thy life, look not behind thee, neither say thou in all the plain, Escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed. And Lot said unto them, Oh, not so, my lord. Behold, now thy servant hath found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, that thou hast slewed unto me in saving my life, and cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil can lest some evil take me and I die. Behold, now this city is near to flee unto, and is a small one. Oh, let me escape thither. Is not a little one, and my soul shall live. And he said unto him, See, I have accepted thee concerning this thing also, that I will not overflow this city for which thou hast spoken. Haste thee, escape thither, for I cannot do anything till thou be come thither. Therefore the name of this city was called Zoar. The sun was risen upon the earth, and Lot entered in Zoar or Zoar. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire, and the Lord from the Lord out of heaven, and he overthrew those city and all the plain, and all the inhabitants of the city, that which grew upon the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. And Abraham got up early in the morning to the place where he stood before the Lord, and he said towards Sodom and Gomorrah and towards all the land of the plain, and beheld, and lo, the smoke of the city went up to the smoke of a furnace. And it came to pass when God destroyed the cities of the plain, that God remembered Abraham and sent Lot of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in which Lot dwelt. Okay. Oh Lord. Oh yeah. Oh no. Anyway, and Lot went up of Zohar and dwelt in the mountain, and his two daughters with him, for he failed to dwell in Zohar, and he dwelt in a cave, he and his two daughters. And the firstborn said unto the younger, Our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come in unto us after the manner of all the earth. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night, and the firstborn went in and lay with their father, and he perceived not when she laid down, nor when she arose. And it came to pass on the morrow that the firstborn said unto the younger, Behold, I say yesternight with my father, Let us make him drink wine this night also, and go thou in and lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night also, and the younger arose and lay with him, and he perceived not that she lay down, nor that she arose. Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father, and the firstborn bare son, and named him Moab. The same is the father of the Moabites, and to this day. And the younger she also bare a son, and called his name Benahiam. The same is the father of the children of Ammonon, unto this day. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's a lot, right? So, first, Sodom and Gomorrah was a city, right? And Lot was living there, and Abraham was living somewhere else. But Lot specifically chose this place to be away from Abraham because they weren't agreeing, right? And they needed space from each other. I don't know if it's like they weren't agreeing, it's just that they chose to be like apart from each other. And when um when um when angels see come to warn Lot, right, about the city being destroyed, the men of Sodom and Gomorrah wanted to assault them, and Lot protected them from being assaulted by the men in the city, and he offers his daughters instead of them assaulting the men. Again, a different time. That doesn't mean that it's right for him to do that, but it is a different time. And that's what they were doing. They were like, they women, and they're not with men. They're able to be with men because they're unmarried and unwed. So be with them. And they were like, no, we want men. And Lot protects them, and they end up the angels end up taking Lot back in the house, and then they blind the men around the house, right? And then Lot and his family flee to because God was going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah because of them not them like just living immorally, as in they were assaulting people. And I don't know if people are associating that as like that being the homosexuality. But in this specific one, they got in trouble because they were assaulting men and because they weren't living for Christ. But the other instances in the Bible, like in the last videos, in this video, are specifically calling homosexuality, which is men with men and women with women, is an abomination. So these are two different scenarios, but they both got punished. So, yeah. And then, so Sodom and Gomorrah gets destroyed, and Lot's wife looks back at it being destroyed, and she turns into a pillar of salt. And I've heard multiple people talk about that. I think there's a couple of people that talked about why she was turned into salt, but I really don't have a personal concrete opinion about that. I just know that she got in trouble for looking back because she wasn't supposed to do it. So, and then, um, yeah. And then in terms of the Lot, Lot gets Lot was assaulted by his daughters to conceive the Moabites and Amnon. And if you know the story of Amnon and the Moabites, both of those people suffered. Their whole generation suffered. But they also started from something that was not what they should have been doing. And you also have to think about the fact that Lot's daughters were living in Sodom and Gomorrah, so they were also seeing these people that are living immorally, so they might not have even seen that assault as something that was wrong because they were in that environment. So I'm not like justifying it, but it does happen. When people are used to certain things, they don't see it as bad because they grew up with it. But yeah, that's this is the last chapter.